Hello friends, welcome back to Data Center Guru Knowledge Platform, knowing A to Z of data center. So today I'm back with very important session on partner. So partner is one of the pillars of 4P which I have discussed or I have explained in my previous session. So those 4Ps are people, process, product and partner. So in fact, I have already talked about the all three P's before in my previous sessions, and today I am going to talk about partner. So when we talk about partner, why it is so important? It is so important because almost everything whatever we do or any organization does around 90% of the time or the situation or we need one or the other partner to get that particular job done which meets our business objective. So obviously I will talk about in detail what is this partner, what are the type of partner and all those stuff. But however, I am talking about any organization, 90% dependency is there on the partner, and 30% of organization has got a evaluated framework which under which they decide what we should be able to outsource and we should empanel or award to which partner. So 70% of organizations just go by gut feeling or by different ways and means. They do not have any standard, evaluated, benchmark process or framework under which this can be done. So during this session or in this session, I will try to explain you what is this partner. As you know, as as I always say, or definition to briefly have an understanding of that particular subject. And so when we talk about partner are the organization that work to deliver project or programs financed by the sponsor. So typically any customer, they need a partner, they do the work and they get paid for that work. And that work meets or help the organization meeting their business objectives. So partners are also known as beneficiaries, and there are different kind of partners. So partner is not only having just um, the vendor kind of relationships. There are other kind of relationships also. On the broader perspective, what I have listed out here is lead partner. In any project, there has to be a lead partner who understands the project end to end, and he works with multiple project partners who are responsible for the specific um, items or specific systems, and they work under the project lead partner. So, project lead partner is a connected link of all the project partners. And again, under project partners, there are multiple. So, any project or program we talk about data center, there are tens of or hundreds of partners involved to really deliver the objective what the organization is looking for. There are also associate partner or alliance partner. So company also form kind of joint venture, or company can form an alliance with some other organizations. So There are also partners, there are observer partner, or you can call it audit partner or certifications partner. So their job is specific, though these are the broader category of the partner. But if you do a deep dive into it, there are multiple kind of partners, and partner type depends on the role what your sponsor or organization wants to play, wants the partner to play. Okay. So I try to find out any research if or survey which is done on the trouble project or failed project, and what is the percentage contribution of the partners. So I did not get it, and I found this root cause analysis which was more appropriate for which I was looking for the data. And I will explain you how through this root cause analysis report, the approximately 50% or of the project failures are attributed to the partners or vendors, whatever you call it. How? You can call 5.4% shortage in high quality management person for 5.4%. It can be a project management organization. So the competent people, if lack of competency is there, you may have this issue. Cultural conflict 3.6%. So if your culture and the partner culture doesn't match, that also led to the project failures. Then, keeping apart this 14.3%, come to this premature tender document drawing bill of materials. So, if the designing and the designer specifications, bill of materials, scope, you can talk about the design and the entire tendering process. If those things are not done well, and that contributes to around 17.3%, which is done by a third party, or you need a partner to do their job. So, so typically 17.3% plus 7% plus 3.2% for, so it is around 33% you come here itself, and then tender winning prices are unrealistic low. If the partner pick up the order at very low price due to whatever reasons, end of the day, who suffers? Customer suffers. So there are 13%. A major contribution in this. There are partners who does this job. How do you avoid it? Then we are talking about the distribution and risk between owner and contractor. Again, it comes to your RFP. Unclear deviation in roles and responsibility, RFP. So if you add another 13% plus 3.4, so approximately if you add all these things together, it is around 50% or even more is attributable to the partners, the project failures. So more than 50% causes of failures you can control by doing the right thing around partners. So obviously I doesn't talk about only problem. I always talk about how to solve it. So the next slide is, let us understand before getting into the solution part, what are the different kind of partners or types of partners who are applicable for data center lifecycle. And again, this around 12 categories I have listed it out on a broader level. You may have again drill down and multiple kind of sub partners or sub partners, sub lease partner, and so on and so forth. So transaction partner. So transaction partner helps you identifying the land for, because nowadays all the data centers are greenfield project. So you need a transaction partner to fix the land, and gets that deal closed with you. Then you need a project management partner to manage the project end to end. Then you need an engineering consulting partner who not only do the designing and everything, he starts from site due diligence and complete take care of the design, engineering design, architectural and all structural and everything of the data center with the technical specification for the RFP and all. Then you need a product partner because in your data center there are multiple building blocks or systems and subsystems, and each and every subsystems has got OEMs or products. You need products to take care of that. So you need to have OEM partners or product partner who can support you during this data center life cycle. Then you need EPC or SI, system integrated partner. So EPC is engineering project company who is responsible from building, developing the land to building the building and all MEPs, architecture, structure, and so on and so forth. Complete building. So obviously it depends on what model you are going for, whether you are going for turnkey model, package model. So similarly, you may decide to have multiple partners into it. So this is a broad level partner. SI partner may be required once your facility is ready, and then you may require SI partner for hardware deployment and the other service deployment part. Safety and quality partner. So you need to have a safety and quality partner to ensure that whenever you are running the project across the life cycle, program across the life cycle, you are taking care of all the safety requirements and the quality aspects you are adhering to. Then you need to have commissioning partner. So commissioning partner role is to ensure that you follow all the 5-level commissioning and whatever you have designed is actually performing to that level. That is the key purpose of for which you do the commissioning. Then you need a service partner to run the data center, to manage the data center, to manage the services. Obviously, there are multiple kind of service partner which is required to run the data center. Similarly, you need audit and certification partner. How do you control? So you need to have such partners who gets involved in time and they control through the audit process and ensure that the base requirement, which is benchmarks, are really adhered or met. Licensing partner, so this is more related with the legal laws, statutory requirements. How do you meet? Business partner, it is more associated with business development, sales, marketing partner. So these are the few around 12 broad level partners which I could think of required during the data center life cycle. Moving to the element of partner evaluation, it is very, very necessary to select the right partner, because if you have more than 50% failure contribution to the partner, then it becomes very, very important to follow or develop your partner selection framework, which I was talking about. Only 30% of organization has got. And the first step towards it, you need to define what are the things you need in your partner. So broadly, I could able to define around 10-11 elements which we have to look at in the partner, and we have to develop a measurable score around it, including the weightage for a proper and scientific evaluation of the partner. So first, if you see, is fitness. The purpose for which, the work for which we are looking for a partner. We must see that the partner is fitting to that work or fitting to that requirement. We must put a first step. Second is around competency. What is the level of competency they have for the work what you are looking at? Capacity. Do they have adequate capacity or adequate people, adequate financial backup, adequate resources to meet your requirements, what you are stating? Quality. Can he be able to deliver the level of quality what you are looking at in your work? What is the consistency of that organization doing such kind of work successfully? How consistently they are doing it? Obviously, the price, financial stability of the organization, reputation, very, very important. Organization reputation, it is not built overnight. It takes normally years to build the reputation for the organization. Very important. So reputation tells you how reliable that partner is and the work for which you are selecting, what is the probability of success. Then culture. Whether that partner culture and your culture is aligned. Again, if the cultural misalignment there, I explained you one of the root cause of the cultural misalignment is the project failure. Relationship. Do you have existing relationships? If we have existing relationships, we know organizations very well, know their people, their work. We experience already their service levels. So, relationship very important. Or if we do not have current relationship, what are the references from the market? Feedback from the market. Commitment. What is the level of commitment he is delivering or he is putting on the table? First he has to commit, then only the delivery comes into the picture, the reality comes into the picture. What is the level of commitment he is giving it to you? Whether it is meeting your requirement, and what is that consistency of the commitment being met in the past? Those things needs to be checked. So these are the few parameters. Again, I am saying this is a broader level parameters or elements which we need to look at for partner selections. And all these elements, when you drill down, it depends on what exactly you are, what kind of partner or type of partner you are selecting. And based on that, the detailing score or the matrix what you are going to define is going to change. Even if the broader level things are going to be the same, on the next detail level the parameters that will change. Moving next, what is the partner selection process? What is the process we follow to get the right partner or the required partner for our program or project? The first, very, very important, is analyze and record the requirements. Because if you see the root cause analysis, one of around 17% or 14% of the project failure was attributable to organization itself not able to define the scope or the requirement well. If you keep on changing your requirements or the scope, it has got direct impact on the project. So it's very, very important to state the requirement, analyze it, and finally record the requirement. Then, to meet the requirement, search for the partners. Who are the available partners in the market to deliver such kind of requirements? Then, based on the criterias, evaluation criteria is what I explained in my previous slide. You shortlist your partners. And once you shortlist the partner, then develop the RFP. yourself, or you can hire some partner to develop RFP in consultation with your shortlisted partners also, so that whatever RFP you develop and the shortlisted partner, whatever they have available, are in line. There is no disconnect between them. Once RFP is ready, you float the RFP to those shortlisted partners, then evaluate the partner bid response based on the eligibility and the evaluation criteria, whatever you have defined as I explained in my previous slide. Once you are able to evaluate it, so you are able to know and define the score for each and every partner, then you move on to negotiate with the partner, correct partner which meets your requirement or the evaluation criteria, then award the contract to them. One major thing what we always look at, which most of organizations miss out, is to measure the performance and record. So when you award the contract to them, after completion of the program or the project or the activity, before you close the contract in the system, you must have a process of taking the performance assessment of that partner and then record it. It will help you in not only you, for also industry in going forward part of it. Okay. So with this partner pillar stuff is ready. So in this thing I could able to talk about briefly what is partner, the type of partners which is applicable for the data center, and what are the partner selection criteria which we must look at, and what is the process we should follow during the partner selection part. And that ends the session, and I will always look forward for you for your feedback. But on my next session I am going to talk about again a very important subject which most of organization on the data center facility aspects, this continuous improvement somewhere is missing. I think as a part of ITIL framework in the service management, I think in the technology or service management part, continuous improvement is being used very religiously and frequently. It is part of the overall service management process. However, if you look at the data center, the facility aspect of it, somewhere my experience says that continuous improvement part is somewhere missed out. And that is the reason I thought of bringing this topic and talking, preparing a session and sharing with the larger masses, and I hope they will get benefited by it. So with this, I have come to end of this session. So keep on watching and keep on providing your feedback, your inputs, whether it is good or bad, because I would also like to improve on. You can always visit our website datacenterguru.in, or if you have got any further queries, you can reach out to me on the email ID which I have mentioned on this slide, advisor@datacenterguru.in. We have been providing a lot of unique services around data center lifecycle, which really helping industry overcome the challenges which industry is facing. So thanks a lot. Have a great day, great evening. Take care. Sabakar.